lesson files first. You go to Finder, here's my hard drive. You go to Lesson Resources, After Effects Lessons, Lessons, and we're going to be using Lesson 8 today. So you're going to copy the entire Lesson 8 folder. So copy it, and then in your hard drive, we are video production. Start a folder. This is Dawn's hard drive. So I would start a new folder and then copy Lesson 8 into your hard drive. Okay, I already have it copied onto my computer here. So Lesson 8 is here. So what we're going to do now that we've copied it is that we're going to go to After Effects. You can just close this because it'll start a new project. And we are going to go to File, Save As, and you are going to, in the Finished Project folder of your hard drive, of this Lesson 8, you are going to name it Lesson 8 Finished. I'm going to put my name, Chan, and I already have one that I started before, so I'm just going to make this number 1. Okay. And then I press Save. After this, we are going to have to import your assets. So you go to File, Import Files, and under the assets there are 3 Photoshop files. So we're just going to select all of these and open them, so it means you import it. And just a way to manage your files properly is to create a new folder. I'm going to call this Assets. So it creates a folder, and then I'm going to drag all of these into Assets so that it's kind of in a nice folder. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start a new composition. So you go to File, New Composition. I'm going to call this Walking Man. The instructions that I'll give you also have this. And you're going to choose NTSC-DV because of the file. This is a little bit smaller dimensions. And here the duration, we just have to put in 500, which is 5 seconds. Then we press OK, and there we have a new composition. Okay, so we're going to add the background first, which is called the backdrop. So if you look here, backdrop. So we're going to drag it. If you remember, there's stacking order for the layers. So you're going to drag it down to the this project panel, and it's going to appear here. So what we do need to do is we need to lock this so that, because it's a background, we don't want it to move around. So we're going to lock it here. Okay. And then we're going to drag the banana, and we drag it to the top of the layer. So we drag it above the backdrop so it shows in front of it. And how we do shortcuts in Adobe After Effects is through keyboard shortcuts. So S is the keyboard shortcut for scale. So if you're selecting banana and you press S, you notice scale comes up. So we need to change the scale to 15%. Okay, if you change the scale, you notice that the banana becomes a lot smaller. Another keyboard shortcut is P. So if we press P, you'll notice that the position comes up, and we need to change the position to 160 by 420. And if you notice there, the banana peel then appears on the side of the screen. Now we have to add the man, the character. So we have to drag the man down to the very top of the layer as well. And there we have the man. If you select the man and you press S, we have the scale. We're going to change this again to 15. And we're going to also select P for position, and we're going to change the position to 575 and 300. Okay, so now the man is moved over to this side of the frame. We're going to go and save your project. It's always good to save. And now we're going to start looking at the puppeting tool. So this is very interesting effect in Adobe After Effects where you can animate 2D objects. So these are all 2D images, so we're going to be able to animate them. So there are 3 kinds of pins. If you look up here in the toolbar at the very end, this is the tool that we're going to be using a lot today. And this is called the Puppet Pin tool. If you select that and hold down, it's hard to see, you'll see that there's 3 different puppet tools. There's Puppet Pin tool, Puppet Overlap tool, and Puppet Starch tool. The most one that we're going to be using is Puppet Pin tool. It's the most original one. Okay, so we're going to select that there. When you use the Puppet Pin tools, you're going to be adding something called the Deformed Pins. So how we're going to do this is we select it. In the composition panel, we are going to put pins first on the right arm, okay, near the wrist. So we're going to put a pin there, and you see it turns up as yellow. We're going to do other pins now. One on the forehead, one on the left arm, wrist. One on each ankle. One on the torso, which is kind of around his thigh, and one on the forehead for the head. Okay, so now we have deformed puppet pins. So now, since we made all these pins, we need to name the pins. So under Mesh 1, let's see, Mesh 1, these are the puppet pin tools that we just added, Mesh 1, and under Deform, there were different puppet pin tools. Oh, I should have done that a little bit differently. So if we right name it and rename, the first one was the right arm. Second one was the left arm. This one was the right leg. It's the left leg. So it's good if you remember what order you did each pin in. This one was the torso, and the last one was the forehead. Or just you can name it as the head. Okay, so now you have names for each one of the puppet pins. Now you're going to go to up here in the Tools panel, you're going to select Show, and this will show you kind of what's happening with the character here. You're going to change the triangles value to 300, and this setting determines how many triangles are included in the mesh. Increasing the number of triangles results in a smoother animation, but also increases the rendering time. This is right from what we're doing right here. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next video, and we'll just stop here.